Boy, howdy, y'all. This is Shane Merz here, and I hope you all had a great time at Virtual Market last month. So many great worlds, good artists. It was pretty good. I liked it. It was fun. This Zero to Hero is going to focus on not one, but two patches, as well as a public service announcement. So let's get started. I skipped the patch in January because coming here and screaming 20 to 40% performance increase by wasn't enough for a video. But VRChat has somehow hacked Unity and forced them to add more frames, and boy, did we get them. In short, if you were maxing out your CPU usage and had GPU room to spare, you are likely to see the most benefits from their changes. Pretty much every single world has gotten a nice performance boost. So if you haven't been in since January, definitely come in. It's pretty awesome right now. That was last patch. Let's talk about this one. The headline feature, messages with your invitations. Never again will you send an invite to somebody and not know what you're being invited for. And people with VRC Plus can add an image to the invite as well, so you can get a visual idea of what you're stepping into. It's pretty neat. I'm going to show you. I'll show you how this works real quick. All right, so here we have my hands. You know my hands by now. All right, so we're going to go hit up my social menu, and we're going to go find somebody who's online. Like here's Pandemian. He's a streamer. He's kind of a cool guy. This is a very awkward avatar. So I'm going to invite him to this world. So I push the invite button, and I get this little thing here where I can add a photo and I can add a message. So I'm going to hit add a photo, and oh look, we can just take a picture. So let's take a picture. It's a good one. I like that one. All right, we're going to save and apply. You can also zoom in and out before you take the picture, which is very useful. You can also add a message. There you have a whole bunch of defaults, and you can edit each of these. The thing about messages is that you can't just write a message. You have to create one of these canned responses. So you would select a canned response and edit it, and now you can type in what you want it actually to say, and then you push OK, and then check that canned response, and here it is, come hang out with me. So then you would push send, they would receive an invite and with your little picture and your little request. And yeah, that's how that works, which is pretty cool. And if you receive an invite, you'll get a notification as you usually do. They also come in different colors now, so we're going to talk about that in a hot second. But to accept new invites, you have this little bell icon now instead of all the stuff on the top. So if you hit the bell icon, you can see all of your invites that you've ever received. These are a bunch of friendly invites that I have, and I haven't gotten to these. Sorry, guys. And you can also hide the photos if you want. I don't know why it's not hiding, even though I selected hide photos, which is kind of weird. If there's more options than just yes or no on the invites, you have this little triple dot here, and you can also see all the other commands that you have for these options. So these all work for invite messages when you're inviting somebody to your instance, request invite messages for when you're asking for an invite, invite response messages for when you're responding to an invite, and request invite response messages for when you're responding to a request for an invite. There are 12 canned messages for each of these invite types, so you can have up to 48 canned messages. I like originality, but when you have to type in that keyboard, those canned messages are probably really useful. And of course, you're going to see a whole bunch of these little new color-coded icons for invites. So be prepared for those because they look a lot different. Don't accidentally think they're like a block or a kick message because some of them are red, and I don't know why they did it that way, but there it is.
Boy howdy everybody. I decided to move all the client stuff to the beginning of the film and just kind of like did a whole lot of cutting and moved everything that has to do with the SDK stuff to the end of the film. So let's talk about last patch's SDK stuff now.
A couple other things that are especially important from the last patch are adding a MIDI system for SDK2 worlds, so now you can have that lovely old school MIDI music in your worlds, which is neat. Udon also had a bunch of new stuff added, but I'm not going to waste my time talking about that stuff because I don't really know what it does, but I'll leave Valgan's major digest of all the new Udon stuff at the end of the video for you guys to check out. So the headline feature from last patch, and I don't know why it wasn't the performance increase, is avatar parameters in SDK3 avatars are now persistent. This means that variables for whatever you were doing with your avatar exist like they normally did, but now they save their parameters between world loads, avatar loads, and even VRChat sessions. Note that this is slightly different than saving their state. Your avatar still has to go through the states from start to whatever your parameter is driving, so you don't instantly start from the last state you were in. This is a really complicated thing to explain, but essentially you don't start exactly where you started, or you're expecting to start. You kind of have to go through the motions in your avatar graph to get where you are, but it's designed to get there rather than start from scratch. It's complicated, but that's SDK3 in a nutshell. And with this change, you can now specify default values for your parameters and have as many parameters as you want, up to 128 bits of data. So I guess that means you can have up to 128 parameters. These bits of data are dependent on what you are using them for. For example, a Boolean takes up 1 bit of data, and a true/false, and instant floats take up 8 bits. So you can have a whole bunch of stuff going on in your avatar. And not only that, but the VRC parameter driver state behavior now has the ability to add or subtract from a parameter. You can also have it do random stuff to a parameter, which can make your character feel more alive, which is really cool. And this was obviously a objective from the beginning, and I'm glad that it's finally fleshing itself out. There was also a bug that people were using in SDK3 where you're using a second sub-animator using the VRC parameter driver state behavior to trigger a change of a parameter on the main avatar animator. Essentially, it was making some really complex and really cool things in avatars, but it wasn't what was intended to come out. It wasn't a feature, it was more of a bug. They fixed it because to not fix it would mean that they would break it eventually anyway, so they went and fixed it. They're kind of upset that they had to do it, and they're going to make sure this feature makes a comeback since it did a lot of cool stuff. And I'll let you know when it's back. All right. VRC SDK 3, I don't know. All right, let's that was last patch. Let's talk about this one. So on the Udon side, they added support for Text Mesh Pro UGUI. So prepare for much nicer text graphical user interfaces in Udon worlds. You can only get and set color and text only for now, but more will come as it comes. There was also a fix on instantiated objects where an Udon behavior may have been delayed for a second and a half, which could negatively affect time-sensitive functions like, shooting people or locking on missiles or, what have you. Most other fixes or known issues are very minor. Instead, let's talk about modded clients. Here's our PSA. I said in December, that video, I said you should probably start abandoning your modded clients no matter what good they do for you, because they're against the EULA and you'll probably get banned. I got a bit of critical response for that, so let me underline it. VRChat at the beginning of the last patch made you agree to not use a modded client under threat of ban. Further, this patch broke either features of said modded clients or the clients as a whole. So this is a form of escalation, a very obvious sign that you should stop using the modded clients. At some point, they're going to ratchet it up to ban status, and now's your chance to go back to vanilla VRChat. I would do that. If you have a legitimate problem or criticism with the client, by all means, go hit up the canny, go hit up ask.vrchat.com. These modded client people should probably start submitting bug fixes to VRChat so they can actually do the things that you guys are using them for, instead of having to go find a new client every single time. All right, that's the end of me nagging. That's the end of that PSA, and I'm all done. So go check out Valgan's video. I hope y'all have a great month, and we'll see you at the next patch. And if you like this stuff, like up, sub up, bell it like a bouse, or whatever the kids say nowadays. All right, so see you later. I'm going to go feed the ducks. Come here. Come here, I got something for you. Come here. Hey. Anybody? It's watermelon.